folks, this is Dieter. Dieter usually does the intros, but I think Dieter's having a moment here. We're having a moment here out on the solar terrace.
This is a nice place.
It's lovely.
This is try number 4.
Yeah, it actually is. It actually is the.
We've done at least an hour of podcast
Yes.
already.
Yeah, we have. So first, let me just go through it. I tried to break down the Christian McCaffrey contract and how I thought it would break down.
Swing and a miss.
Way off. I couldn't have been more off. I still stand by the fact that it would have made more sense to front load it.
Yep.
But the 49ers never do that because they want cap space.
That's
and
right.
The cap keeps going up, whatever. Keep kicking it down the road.
There's weirdness.
Whatever. Then we tried to re-explain it. That didn't go well. And then we just tried to record with the sound of...
We did like 10 solid minutes. And by the way, there are going to be airplanes this entire time because the world is out to get this podcast.
Listen.
I'm starting to think that it's a conspiracy.
It is. Our takes are too good.
Yep. We know too much.
We know too much. So that's the reality. We're going to be out here, and probably once every 4 to 5 minutes there will be a plane. But
this is legitimately 100 times better than the 10 minutes we just recorded about 5 minutes ago.
It was just like
where there was some guy in a cherry picker. What is that? What that's called?
I think it was. Yeah, just reversing aimlessly.
He was just in reverse the whole fucking time. He was in reverse for 10 straight minutes.
Yeah.
You know, you want to give deference. These people are doing their jobs. We're trying to find a spot around them.
Right.
And I figure, well, he's backed up now how many times? He's finally found his spot.
How far could he possibly back up?
He backed up for 10 straight fucking minutes. I don't think he moved anywhere. I think his job was to back up. No, buddy, you got to stand here and you got to stay backed up. It's Wayne's World 2, where they moved the plane of glass back and forth and they make sure there are plenty of watermelons stacked up. Shout out Wayne's World 2, if you ever watched it. Jesus Christ. Who'd you like in Minicamp, Jake?
All right.
Sorry.
Listen, we really did do some solid minutes here. Let's start with something positive. Let's switch it up to something positive. Positives.
I like their first 2 picks in the draft.
And they went at it today. Lovely breakup by
beautiful.
Renardo Green. Beautiful PBU. Defensive coordinator Nick Sorensen was
He's
fired
geeked.
up talking about it. He was geeked. He's also a little funny, kind of a weird disposition.
I got in trouble with our audience. And listen, it's on the audience to provide accountability. We're out in the wild world that is YouTube.
The wild, wild world.
And it's chaos out here. So we need the accountability. But people were like, you're being too hard on Nick Sorensen. No one really cares about the press conferences. I don't think I was being too hard on Nick Sorensen.
No,
I was just giving a take in the moment.
I don't think that was
and
too
I
hard.
think that was a fair take that I gave. I'll note though, I thought he was very charming and interesting today.
Yeah, he was. And to be fair,
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at all. Also, who cares? He needs to know how to coach a team. And
What do we got there? Is that United?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one United and one Southwest.
That's a Boeing. Yeah, we'll keep track for those of you.
Yeah.
No, I thought he was great today. He was fired up about Renardo Green and Pearsall.
Right next to an airport.
Basically inside of the airport. This basically might as well be the airport. It also, anyway, Renardo Green, great breakup on Pearsall. They gave each other a little love after the play.
Some good reps.
Yeah. Pearsall looks by far like the best wide receiver on this team.
He's unreal.
With Aiyuk not here. Just clearly the most well-rounded, not just the most talent, but like most athleticism.
I'll note
knows what
this.
he's doing.
It almost feels as if Debo, who, when we talked yesterday in the unaired episode,
Right.
I did note Debo was dogging it at like an elite level.
Yep.
Like just the half-assery. I mean, what, a quarter ass? 10th of an ass? There was no powerhouse to this cell. He was giving good reps today.
Yeah, he did.
I feel like Ricky Pearsall kicking ass might have
A little bit of juice.
maybe a little bit of juice there. And
Yeah.
by the way, they seem to like each other.
Yeah, they've got a good vibe going, which is funny.
Is hilarious.
Pearsall will be taking some of the snaps.
Well, I mean, if I'm Brandon Aiyuk and I'm looking and I'm just getting richer and richer by the minute, and respect to Brandon Aiyuk and respect, like, I got no problem with the way that this thing is played out. But if I'm Brandon Aiyuk, I'm sitting at home and listening to the Dieter and Hutch podcast.
Yeah, he's a listener
to do.
for sure.
I'm starting to think to myself, shit, like the 49ers might not feel as much need to get me in. Like my leverage.
Right.
I'll make the statement. Brandon Aiyuk should still make whatever, $30 million a year or whatever. He should still get top of the. He's a very, very good wide receiver, and the 49ers need him. They don't need him as much as maybe everyone thinks they need him.
Yeah, I think they could absolutely win games and get away with a few weeks of him not being out there. Could they compete for a Super Bowl without him? No. And just Pearsall and Debo? I don't think so. But I think you can definitely compete and win games just with Pearsall and Debo and Jennings and the other guys they have, and McCaffrey.
One of the big takeaways that we've had from training camp is, like, there are some positions where if somebody goes down, they are deeply fucked.
Absolutely.
Quarterback. Anyone on the offensive? I guess left tackle.
Left tackle. I actually think
right tackle to a degree.
This is the best depth they've ever had on the interior. Like, I think they can
highest
rotate.
Floor.
Yeah, I think they can rotate their interior offensive line a lot.
I get that. Which one? What do we got? Who we got?
Which one we got here?
That is
Alaska.
That's Alaska. Okay.
We got Alaska. We got Southwest. And
we got the big three so far. Meanwhile, it looks like he's going to run into that one. The solar deck, ladies and gentlemen, fantastic.
Fantastic. Highly recommended.
Okay, so
we got strawberries growing. Anyway,
got kale. They do have some kale.
They got a yellow squash,
it's 90
which I am also
outside.
growing.
People love us doing housekeeping.
It's great.
There's also the biggest goddamn crow I've ever seen over there.
Oh yeah, that's basically a man.
Wow. Get that guy signed up to play safety.
Yeah.
Okay, so like quarterback, left tackle, and I agree with you on the offensive. I think you're right.
Yeah. But I'm with you.
Tight end.
Yeah.
Tight end is a bad spot. Like, legitimately wide receiver and cornerback are deeper than they've ever been on this team.
For sure. I mean, their corner...
Like, Ronnie Bell stands no chance of making this.
They have... At corner, they have 4 guys who, like, actually should start.
Yes. Yadam, Mooney, Diamador Lenore, Renardo Green.
And then they've got...
And then, like, solid
And then they've got, like,
that.
Darryl Luter, who's, like, pretty intriguing.
People like Luter. I like Womack. I'm going to keep banging the Womack.
I liked what I saw from Womack, too. Chase Lucas, who's, like, a great special teamer.
Did we see much Chase Lucas?
Haven't seen a ton of him.
I didn't see him much.
But he looks like he's going to be a solid nickel backup and a great special teamer.
When I did see him, he was making really nice plays.
Yeah. And so they've got, like, and we said he's probably going to make the team. If you want to be, sort of generous, 2 spots open. Let's say there's 2 spots open, and it's Chase Lucas, Womack, Luter, Ambry Thomas.
Yeah.
I think Ambry Thomas is getting cut. That's my gut feeling right now.
I would imagine,
which is kind of wild.
As of today, I would say that they would probably cut Womack too.
That's fair. Yeah, Luter and Lucas would be my 2 guesses.
That or Lucas gets designated as like a strict special teams guy.
Right, and that's to say,
which they can do.
Yeah. Also, Rock Ya-Sin is technically on their roster still, even though he's hurt.
I mean, he is, but he isn't.
Right. So
shout out, Rock Ya-Sin. We barely knew you.
Yeah, but yeah, and then here we got to loop back to the quarterback thing, because
it's a real
we ripped
problem,
on that.
Jake.
There have been
this Purdy guy sucks. No,
he's so really many like just terrible long balls that have gone.
Brandon Allen is out here to show the world that he has arm strength, and
he's
it's like
throwing the ball to me a lot.
That ain't your issue. We have picked the perfect spot to just get decked by Brandon Allen, and we are not standing between the numbers.
No, there's going to be one in the air, and I'm waiting for it.
I think Brandon Allen might overthrow somebody in a preseason game that it lands in the stands.
That'd be pretty dope.
There's a big gap. But, like, this dude, it's Ricky Wild Thing Vaughn out there.
So how many you've got? What have you referenced? You referenced.
I reference a lot of things.
Okay, well, it's the second movie reference, I think, in the 80s or the 90s.
Oh, we're talking about Wayne's World 2?
Yeah, Wayne's World 2.
Luckily, I didn't bring back Major League 3 back to the minors.
Ooh.
Listen,
it's a great title.
Major League is the greatest baseball movie ever made. I'll fight anybody on it. Field of Dreams is weird. It's a weird movie. People go Bull Durham. Not a Tim Robbins guy.
Not to be confused with Tim Robinson, who we love.
We love Tim Robinson, of course. But
and is the Lions mascot by all accounts? They fully embraced him.
Did you see the
schedule release?
Yeah, the schedule release.
Incredible. Love them. Love Detroiters.
Do you think they scripted that at all?
No, I don't think so at all. I think they gave them a giant. You haven't seen it. It's basically Tim Robinson and his partner Sam Richardson from Detroiters, and they've got a giant fake machine made of TVs. They just gave them. They're like, go stand in front of this and do 5 minutes. And they did, and it's off the rails. And I don't think they edited it once, and it was beautiful.
The best schedule release was Josh Allen living in the pit.
Oh yeah, by far.
It was like really fun.
And I'm partially convinced that is where he lives. Reminds him maybe of Fireball, you know, the dry land.
It was like a legitimately funny.
It was great
Video.
He's a good actor.
You do what you got to do,
Yeah.
regardless. Did the Niners even bother to put one out?
Steph Sanchez did a Nick Bosa impression.
Well, she did in like an official video.
Yeah.
Oh, good for her.
It was good for her. Yeah, it was pretty
We
funny.
like Steph.
It's the most creative the 49ers have been.
Wow.
Yeah, she's great. I think she just got married. Congrats, by the way.
Good for Steph.
Congrats, by the way, Steph.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad we have that answered. Let's talk about things that we're not feeling so hot about. I'll start. I mean, with the preface of it's very difficult to get a gauge on any line play when they
can't tell.
Aren't wearing pads and basically just playing 7-on-7s. But like we do, I don't want to toot our own horn here, but like you can tell a lot in some of these drills.
Yeah.
Get off. Like we know the certain things that the Niners are looking for inside their system.
First step, second step, punch. You know.
And I'm not seeing it from some of these guys. Now they don't have Malik Collins out there. Javon Hargrave's out there. Javon Hargrave kind of dogs it in practice. That's what you can get away with some of the money.
Got a lot of tread on those tires.
Those hammies are not good.
Yeah, what they really need to do is just bring in a nose tackle, just like a DJ Jones type who's on the right side of 30.
Yeah.
And just run him into the ground.
You mean like a DJ Reader?
Yes.
Yeah. Who could have possibly have suggested that nonstop for months on end?
They need a large, beefy boy.
Couldn't have been me.
Okay.
Defensive line is going to be a legitimate issue for this team. And when you think about the issues that this team had defensively last year, late in the season when Eric Armstead went out, and by the way, he was holding it. If Eric Armstead's holding it together, it was already gone. But like this team's run defense was bad last year. I know statistically it didn't come across as bad. It started bad and it got worse.
I mean, the Lions absolutely demolished them in the first half of that game. They just did whatever they want.
That's right.
49ers couldn't stop anything on the ground.
No, and then Jared Goff took over.
I rewatched that game. I think they ran it on 3rd and 12 for a first down at one point in that game.
Totally believable.
Like they just bullied the shit out of them up front and double teamed and climbed to the second level, and the 49ers went,
I mean, even in the Super Bowl, when you would go like, well, it's actually kind of difficult to figure out what Kansas City did well in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, as Mooney Ward said the other day, basically it was just he's like, we were the better team, but they have the best player in football. So
yeah, we'll see if the Stanley Cup Finals go like that.
We'll see.
Oilers or Panthers? You an oil man?
I kind of love the Oilers. You know, their roster's just stacked.
Yeah, at the top.
I know at the top. I know.
You know I'm all cats all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Regardless, defensive. This.
Yep.
I'm glad that we've gotten now on the 4th try the truest encapsulation of us.
Yeah. No, I think the problem was we were actually trying to talk about things that were of consequence. Trying to discuss, this Christian McCaffrey contract, all that.
Okay, let's talk about the Christian McCaffrey contract. Like, I found it to be strange. Like, I think it is idiosyncratic.
Yep.
I think it is...
We have to pause for 1 second.
Unnecessary. Why?
It's cutting a little bit.
Oh, no, we're good.
It's choppy? No? We don't have to cut.
No, it's still pulling.
Okay, great. All right. And play.
I'm not cutting that out.
No, you shouldn't.
I found they're clearly playing favorites.
Right.
They get this money on the Eric Armstead post-June 1 designation.
Yeah.
And they just use it on Christian McCaffrey, which is fine. You could do a whole lot of worse things with your money. But I'm of the mindset that part of this is a message to Brandon Aiyuk, and the other part of it is just let's make sure Christian's happy, which I'm not sure is a good way to run a team.
So the way it worked out, actually a while before we had the 4th plane. I'll let you identify that one.
Okay.
But the way I thought it, because they had the Armstead money, is that they would use that and say, all right, let's give McCaffrey 20-something million this year. Spirit, wow. No repeats. That's interesting. I thought they would say, no, let's just front load this first year,
Yeah.
Guarantee him the money for the next 2 seasons. And what they did is they did guarantee him the $14 million each of the next 2 years that he's going to make anyway.
Yeah.
They just guaranteed it, and they put a little bit on top. So that way, and they added a third year where it's basically an option year. Like if he still looks like McCaffrey, still looks healthy, year 3 they can opt in. If not, they'll post June 1 him and save $7 million, something like that.
Yeah.
But it was
fine.
not necessary, and it guarantees a second year that they didn't really have an obligation to guarantee. And so to me, it's saving a little money this year. It's making sure McCaffrey's happy and healthy, which they also specified that they want to limit some of his run carries. Shanahan said 20 a game. They're going to try and avoid that.
Totally hilarious. They're like, let's give more money to this guy and use him less.
Right. We'll see if they actually follow through on that when they lose 3 out of their first 6 games and go into panic mode.
Yeah.
And then they have
to kill him,
run him into the ground, or maybe they decided to do that with Debo. We'll see. But they have the thesis, and this is something we talked about yesterday or the day before, however many days in a row we tried to record this podcast, is that they have had this thesis of we reward our top-end A-tier players with high-end money, and they consistently do that. And so they did that with McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Again, the contract was pretty much, it was written. There's not that much that they were obligated to do, and they didn't change it that much. They moved money around.
Yeah.
But it's something with Aiyuk where it's like, okay, you're supposed to pay Aiyuk the top dollar amount, but they never make it easy.
No.
They always make the guys sweat, and they always protract it. While all these other teams are like, we like our receiver. We're going to pay them. The 49ers are like, what if we made everyone uncomfortable and squeezed whatever we could out of this, which, to be fair, has mostly worked for them.
Yeah.
That said, both Nick Bosa and Debo have said, like, oh, yeah, takes a toll on you.
It's personal.
And you show up kind of like out of shape and not in the same rhythm because you're not in all of these practices, especially if you miss any of training camp. So it's not going to have a non-zero effect. Like, it is a tangible thing that affects them.
Yeah. Listen, the 49ers don't have to do anything. And I think that needs to be repeated. Like, the 49ers could very easily, and in fact, it might be advisable
to just let him play out
to just let him play the 5th-year option and then franchise tag him. Like, if it is already deemed personal, then lean into it and do the thing that is advantageous to your team. Because as much as it sounds ridiculous, like, I don't think he's getting more expensive. Like, I don't.
I think the price.
No one's ever going to pay him more than Justin Jefferson.
I don't think the Justin Jefferson deal is a rubric. I think it's
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah, he wants Amon-Ra St. Brown, which I think is fair. I think is fair. Yeah,
That's
give
fine.
him.
Honestly,
which honestly weirdly has a lot of outs in it by like the 3rd year.
It was stunning.
Option bonuses are weird. Contracts, I don't. It's getting weird.
I think I'm giving up.
Yeah, I think that's the right approach.
I wanted to know about it, and now my head is spinning.
We went too deep.
We're in too deep. Okay, anything else from training camp that you want to talk about? Or, I'm sorry, minicamp.
I don't know if there's anything else from training camp. Tight end depth is still worrisome.
Yeah.
I think Eric Saubert's decent blocker. Logan Thomas should be like a pass catcher.
Willis
looks decent. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of him.
Yeah.
He could be their
He's
number
their
2.
Y. He's their move.
Yeah. We'll see. Again, still very concerned about defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Especially, I like what they have on the interior of their offensive line. There's always going to be questions at tackle. Wide receiver, Pearsall's great. Cornerback depth is the most exciting part of this roster.
Howings today?
I did not.
Yeah, I wonder if he's got a thing.
Well, we'll see. I didn't see him out there though.
Then, I mean, when we talked to Charvarius Mooney Ward, he said that he's crazy fast.
Yeah,
that's a good sign.
It's a good sign.
Because what we saw from him originally was that he does create a lot of separation, but he's itty bitty.
Yep. Okay. What I really, not really training camp related, not really minicamp related,
right?
But what I really wanted to close out on, if we're closing out,
sure.
Larry Allen, R.I.P., legend
Rest
of the game,
peace.
Passed away. Spent his last 2 years with the 49ers. Wore 71, same number Trent Williams wears. And I asked Trent Williams last year about the infamous clip of Larry Allen benching
700 pounds.
700 pounds.
That's right. Which is just a little bit less than my personal record.
Do you have a personal record?
I'm not telling you.
Okay, fair enough. Tried.
It's 1,000. Metric ton.
When you watch it, it's insane. The bars bending, and it's the old weights that really feel like they weigh more.
Oh yeah, there was no rubberization.
Right. And Larry Allen just goes and he just kills it.
These
and
are
it's
concrete busters.
It's insane, 700 pounds. And so I asked Trent Williams.
He made it look easy.
Right. And it probably was for him. He probably could have done more, but the bar couldn't fit anymore. And so I asked Trent Williams, I'm like, have you ever seen that clip of Larry Allen? And I think he had, and I was asking him, trying to see if, like, do you think you could bench 700, like what your personal best is? And Trent's like, I don't, do that anymore because I don't want to pop a pec.
Right.
Fair, smart.
Yeah, kind of stupid that Larry Allen was doing it.
Right. What Trent Williams does do is bench 315 for reps just to build strength, a little light 315. Insane. But even Trent Williams, one of the greatest athletes, not just currently in the NFL, but ever. Truly one of the greatest NFL athletes ever.
Freak of nature.
Like, insane. When you watch the clips of him running outside zone and pummeling people,
it's not normal.
You see the fear in eyes through face masks.
Yeah.
And Trent Williams was like,
it's palpable.
I've never been as strong as Larry Allen was. And this is Trent Williams.
Yeah.
Like,
and it raised the question, who is the strongest man? And we're not doing this pound for pound shit. We're talking if we do world's strongest man, and I'll be even more specific. If we do a bench press max 1 rep combine, 1 rep, most amount of weight by 5-pound increments.
Yeah.
Who is the strongest man in the NFL? And frankly, we used to have the answer. I think we all agreed that Aaron Donald was that guy. I don't think he's that guy anymore. And we're in a bit of a conundrum because we threw a lot of names out there, and I'm not sure any one of them. Some 6'9" offensive linemen.
Yeah, it was like
some
we're talking about
big ass defensive tackle.
and Mailata.
Yeah, maybe
Mekhi Becton.
Maybe